Hello, everyone. By popular demand, welcome to the first episode of Dads Unfiltered. If you haven't already, go listen to the Moms Unfiltered episode a few episodes back. I highly recommend doing that because it'll add a little bit more context for this episode today. We have a few firsts happening right now. Number one, this is our first show with men on the show as guests. So welcome, guys. You're a first. And for two, we have 6 people in studio right now. We're kind of crammed in like sardines, but special thanks to producer Matt for making it all happen. So we have lovely Moms Unfiltered ladies in here today, but in addition, we have the husbands. So welcome Jared and Alex Schmitz. Adam and Lexi Wolf, and of course, my husband Billy is here to drop all things fatherhood. So, guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So, my first question to you guys is, what were your thoughts on the Moms Unfiltered episode? So, Adam, do you wanna take it away?
I mean, I had heard a bunch of things from other people before I listened to it, and I kind of had an idea of what was in it, but I mean, everything I kind of heard or experienced with Lexi throughout a lot of it, so I mean, nothing too shocking.
Yeah, she did great. She really did. She was nervous, but she did great. Jared, what were your thoughts on the episode?
When Alex got home, she was talking about she just goes, I cried at the end of it. It was so bad. I'm like, it couldn't have been that bad. But
she had us all crying.
Yeah, it opened up pretty good.
I think you had listeners crying.
Really?
I had people reach out to me, like my sister being one of them, and she was like, Alex had me tearing up.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
and
my gosh.
a couple others that we went to high school with too.
My
So,
goal today
yeah.
was to not cry.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
that's my goal.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Billy, what were your thoughts?
It was great. It was a lot of emotions, and I think from 3 moms, like really expressing how they feel and how they became mothers, and the whole thing that changed you,
Yeah.
as you obviously got used to taking care of kids,
Yes.
So.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that we actually talked about on the Moms Unfiltered episode was we went through each one of our birth stories and what it was like for us, bringing our children into the world. And so I want to get the perspective from your guys' point of view. And so, Jared, since you're the most recent experienced, Can you walk us through what it was like watching Alex bring your daughters into the world?
I tell people this all the time. It's the most like unreal, rawest thing ever, especially like without going through any medications or any like pain meds or anything. Like, I don't know how that's possible. It's the first time with Layla, I didn't plan on watching. I was just planning on like, I'm going to be up there by her head and just, I'll be there for her. It's fine. There's no hiding from that. Like, it's just, we're out in the open. Everyth's
Your knees are
yeah,
up here.
there's no
you
blankets.
think it's going to go so different
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
the way it goes. Yeah.
Till you get into the trenches, and she's a rock star. It's cool.
I know I told her, I'm like, you're a Viking. Because I know the pain, and I don't think that I could have done it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could have, but I know the pain, and that was, that's wild that you did it both times. No pain meds.
With Layla, we got there so late that like, I don't even think I could have gotten an epidural even if I wanted one, because by the time I was actually in pain, I could not sit still. Like, I wouldn't even be able to sit still for them to put the needle in. So I couldn't even done it the first time. And then the second time, I already knew I did it the first time, so I knew I could do it again.
Why change it?
Right.
Back? Yeah.
And we're talking about the girl that would cry over like a paper cut or like
That's true.
make a big fuss about it and have to get a Band-Aid and clean it off, make sure we don't need stitches. And
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go
But
into
she went
this.
straight Viking for
Yeah.
birth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
This is what we're made for.
Hell yeah. So, Adam, what was your experience?
I mean, I watched all of it both times. The first time it was me and Lexi and her mom in there, and then the second time it was just the two of us. And I was interested to see all of everything just because.
Yeah, it's an incredible experience to see, because your brain, like, And I think we kind of talked about this on the episode too. Like, you know what's going to happen, but it's almost like your brain is catching up with what is actually taking place. And you're like, that life just happened.
I mean, I had an idea it was going to be cool. I mean, it was a lot cooler to see, like, an experience. I guess cool maybe not the right
That's
word.
cool.
It was
cool, Lex?
That was the process before.
It was yeah.
That was
It was-
the act.
It was an experience to watch it all, and it was, I mean, looking back, it was really unique, and it was I enjoyed watching everything happen, you know, Olivia and Colin and all that. You know, with Colin, it was a lot easier, I'd say. We kind of knew what to expect, and you know, the first time with Olivia, you know, Lexi was trying to be, you know, the strong mom, and, you know, she's like, I'm gonna wait and get my epidural, and you know, the nurse actually pulled me out in the hall, and she's like, what is she waiting for to get her epidural? Like, she's obviously in pain. Why is she waiting? I go, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I went and talked to her. She goes, I don't know. I feel like a wuss if I get it too soon. So
It is pressure, I feel like, sometimes on women to, you know, we want to be more like Alex.
Yeah, don't let me pressure you.
Yeah, because I know for me, I mean, you know too, I was trying so hard in similar situation. I was prolonging the birth because I was so tensed up. So yeah.
Well, and then with Colin, we walked in. She's like, all right, let's get this. Let's go. You know, let's
Yeah,
just.
you now know.
She's like, there's no reason to wait. Let's just go. Let's get it done. And then I can relax and we can do this. And,
Yeah.
you know, it was easier, I'd say, the
Mhm.
second time. Just, I think that the first time Lexi had so much anxiety about just everything
Yeah.
that it made it a lot harder than it probably needed to be.
Hmm. Were you guys brought to tears, both of you?
Oh yeah.
I don't know that
Yeah.
I was tears. I was really excited and really happy. I don't know that I was in tears though.
So lots of emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bill, I called you out on the Moms Unfiltered episode, and I'm sure listeners are wanting to hear from you about, well, not only our son's birth, but definitely our daughter's, with your little fainted moment.
Well, I'm here to defend myself.
Okay,
so
go. I'll let you have it.
my side of the story. So,
Okay.
Adam, our first pregnancy, our birth was easy. It was a dead opposite for yours, I guess. So ours was, Beckham was, I don't think it was pretty easy. I mean, I definitely got emotional the first thing. I mean, obviously, like you nailed it with we all know what happens, and we know having the baby, that there's a baby in there, and then you get to the hospital, and it's like you're going to watch the whole thing, and it's like you're having a child, you know?
Yeah.
Simple as that sounds. I mean, it really comes to life on you. So it's a lot of emotions, and getting through it, I think, was a lot easier than the second one, by means of like having the C-section. That's what got me. And it was a lot. I was so worried about you. I remember watching you, and it's funny, in my defense, I was looking at her eyes as they were like rolling back into her head. And all of a sudden, the lady's like, I'm like, I'm good. I have no issues with this. I'm no problem at all.
He's like, I've gutted a deer.
Yeah.
I've done all the things. I'm like, I'm not a deer.
And I'm like, I really don't have issues with blood, or I've cut myself like crazy bad and had never had issues with that. And but yeah, that one got me. I think I had a lot of night terrors leading up to that situation of something happening to you. And I think as we were in there, it all hit me as a real situation. And your eyes rolled the back of your head, and they're getting the child out, and she goes like this, like moving around. And I think that's what got me the most, is I was looking at it and then trying to watch, and all of a sudden I was on oxygen.
Yeah. Well, for anyone listening that hasn't had a C-section, don't freak out. That's not typical. She was stuck. So I wanted to add that in there. Like, she was stuck, like really wedged in my hip. So that the movement part that he's talking about was, she was breech. Yeah.
Yeah, so just to explain how stuck she was. But yeah, so it was a difficult time, but she came out great. I came back great, and everything was good.
Mhm.
But I think leading up to that, it was a lot of emotions I wasn't really prepared for. I knew the baby was healthy. We knew between that and then just seeing you, it was a lot, you know. And it was truly amazing once I came back and was able to cut the umbilical cord. partly.
Yeah.
Mom was here, but yeah. So the second child was a lot for us, even though it went good.
Yes.
A
Well,
lot for me.
yeah, we're glad you're back, Bill. Yes, he did.
Oh man.
How do you guys feel about leaving the kids for a night? Either a night, a weekend, or just on vacation? Because I know as moms, like that is one major anxiety that we have is eventually like leaving the kids. And I know in order to remain like healthy in your relationship, that's something that all couples need. They need to get away and, just have couple time. And so is that something that guys have anxiety about? And if it is, what is a way that you guys have been able to move past that in the past? Because I know, Adam, you and Billy, we have older children. Jared, yours are still young. But, you guys had younger children at one time. So, Billy, I'm going to have you go first this time.
Honestly, when they were younger, a little bit of worry, not as much as the moms, but I think our kids are just, you got an air fryer and video games, they are going to take care of themselves. I mean, they definitely know how to live on their own in a sense, so I don't worry as much. Naturally, that natural dad worry is there, but I think the moms definitely worry a lot more than what we do as fathers.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Jared?
Yeah, I'd agree that there's still some like anxiety and nervousness about leaving them, but I went to deer camp like what was she, 3 weeks old at that point?
Which one?
With Cadence.
I have no recollection of this.
I should have been I guess should have been like 6 or 7. But I was like, oh, it's deer season. I gotta go. Go for a day. It's fine. Thankfully, back in one night, I didn't have to stay overnight. But it's easier for a guy to leave. I don't know why. It just feels like it's a little bit easier. Mom's just like, oh, we've got to get, we have to have the food ready. We have to have milk for them. We have to have this and that. And I'm just like, let's just go. We can figure it out. We'll manage.
Yeah.
It'll work
I feel like
itself
it's a
out.
different, I don't know if it's like DNA. I don't know. Like mothers were more like, I don't know how to say it. Like we just think about all these things more than dads. Cause I know like for us, me and Billy, like he's like, well, yeah, we'll call the babysitter. We'll go for 2 weeks. Like, what the hell? I'm like, what? Like, no, we can't leave for 2 weeks. What if they break a leg? What if this? What if that? Like, I need all the things put in place before we do this. So what about you, Adam? Is this something that you've had?
I travel a lot for work.
Yes.
I'm gone 10 days at a time for, up to half the year. So it doesn't really bother me much. Now, there's been some times when we've had stuff happen that has been really hard because I'm, on the other side of the country or something like that, and it's hard to like not be able to be there and help. But, the going away part isn't, I guess that I don't really get stressed out about it. I know Lexi's got a lot of help with my family and her family, and we've got, some good friends and stuff like that can always help. But realistically, especially now, our kids are so busy that, most of the time it's just shuttling them back and forth
Being
between places. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't really bother me. It really doesn't bother me. And then vacation wise, a lot of times they'll stay either with my parents or Lexi's parents, and they've all raised kids well, relatively well. So, I'm not really too worried about it.
Yeah. Someone you can trust and know that they're
Yeah,
good if something happens.
Yeah, and if something happens, we're a phone call away usually. So
yeah. So I want to move on to what has been your favorite age for your kids so far. So is it the baby stage, the toddler stage, older like school age kids? So Jared, do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So we talk about this from time to time. We're only at 3 years old right now. So, but from birth to 3 years, I think our favorite age thus far has been like the like 1 to 2 range. They're starting, they're walking, they're starting to learn language, they're having a lot of fun, they're easy to play with.
Their personality
Personality
starts to show.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with as many diapers or worry about all the food and stuff, like all the nursing. You can kind of cut away from that. It's just,
and they're so stinking cute at that age.
Yes.
They're so cute.
I do love when the personality starts shining through and you're like, oh, because it seems like you're getting to know them on a deeper level at that point too. So yeah, I agree. Adam, what about you?
I mean, I think it was the easier times were probably before they were walking and crawling and moving around, because they just, I could come home from work and just kind of lay them on my lap and just relax and hang out, and there wasn't a million different things going on or trying to keep them out of stuff or whatever.
Oh yes,
but
when they start walking, you're like,
yeah, once they start moving, it's it's game over. You always got to keep an eye on them.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll say, between Olivia and Colin, my favorite ages are probably different between the two of them. With Olivia, I'd say it was probably around 9 or so, because she was still the really sweet, my sweet little girl. She wasn't getting real sassy yet with me. Middle school definitely changed girls around that age where they're, they, she would always want to come hang out with me, and, she wasn't so, now she's more like wants to just be by herself and do her things and talk to her friends and stuff like that.
I heard they come around eventually, girls. They go out and they come back around when they get a little older.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, she's I still have no complaints, a little sass here and there, but it's
the preteen years.
Well, it's mostly not directed at me either. So, but then, Colin at 9, right, he's a lot. Olivia was always our quiet, like more conservative girl, and Colin, he's always just been a ball of energy and a lot.
Yeah, he's a big personality.
So I'll say with him, I'd say it was like around 4 or 5. He was not quite as he was still doing a lot, but he was still trying to figure things out. He wasn't talking back as much or any of that kind of stuff. It was more like just fun. He was out running around doing stuff and having fun, but not really causing any trouble or anything like that yet. That's
good. So, Bill, do you have favorite ages for R2?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of them, and definitely some of the ones like 1 and 2, watching them get to walk in, develop in their personality. But then also they do come at different ages, as far as like, for Beckham being a lot more shyer, a lot more calmer than what Isley is. I mean, Isley is a ball of fire. She definitely matches Colin's energy. They are 2 pieces.
It's an arranged marriage.
It's an arranged marriage.
So, but honestly, I like the age they're at now too. Even though they're going to be 7 and 10, but watching them both kind of get into sports and them all just grow and really learn, and then, kind of get into where they're going to, struggle at times, maybe with like Beckham and learning a sport or something, but then he starts doing more and more and learning. And I think it's a lot to watch him grow and figure it out on his own as he develops. And then Isley, she seems to really just get into everything, and she's always high on energy and ready to roll and conquer the world. So it's always fun watching her and what her ideas are that day when I get home. So, and I think that'll change as they get older. You'll get to where she's 12 and we're talking about how sassy she is and talking back, and then she might be 16 and she'll be daddy's girl again,
Yeah.
So they come around, but it's a tough question, because I think you learn to love it all, even when they're crawling everywhere and driving you nuts, or they're getting into stuff, or you're just trying to keep them alive because they're sticking their fingers in the outlets or something. So, but yeah, so that is a tough one.
Well, it sounds like you guys like 2 and older age.
Just get past a year.
Yeah, for dads, I feel like that's common, because us as moms, we're the ones that are mostly with the newborns at super, like, a lot. And yeah.
why is it I want a newborn then when we see one? So that's what I'm getting at. It's
I
like
don't
the
know, but you
newborn
need to
stage
stop that. You need to
is
stop
Yeah,
that.
something, and then
'cause
you're like,
the,
okay,
the ship
time to
sailed.
grow up.
Has it really sailed though?
You don't wanna do it.
Come on,
It
you can start over
sailed.
again.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
sailed. It sailed. So, as dads, it's hard sometimes to balance work and family life because in traditional households, the man is the provider, and you want to provide, and you want to provide. And so sometimes it's hard to balance, your family life with your kids and your wife. So what are some ways that you guys have noticed that helps you do that? Adam, do you want to go first?
I mean, like I said earlier, I travel usually 10 days at a time. So if I'm on a big project for work, I'll be gone 10 days. I'll be home 4 days. I'll be gone 10 days. I'll be home 4 days for a month or two straight. So my home time is definitely my home time. I like to try to catch up when I'm home and do as much as I can with the kids and spend time with them, and spend time with Lexi too. So but
And for you guys, that's a lot of like taking them to sports and
lots of dance and lots
yeah.
of sports, and
So just being there.
and trying to find time where you can just relax together and hang out and watch a movie at night, or whatever it may be. With them being in school now, and well, not right now, but them being in older in school, middle school and elementary school, like those 4 days when I'm home, may fall half of it on a week, during the week, and half of it on a weekend. So the weekend time, try to spend as much time with them in evenings, but then during the day, trying to spend as much time I can with Lexi, and trying to, make sure that we're not just, I'm gone and then I'm home, but not really home, and stuff like that, or I'm home and then I'm out doing whatever. So
Yeah, that has to be tough when you travel. Like you have to be like extra present when you're home.
yeah, because I mean, even when I'm gone, there's FaceTime and phone calls and stuff like that, but a lot of times, especially during the week, everybody's so busy still. It's we have 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, and it's still hard to like keep track of what's going on at home when I'm gone.
Yes. Bill, do you have a take on this?
Yeah, I think for us, that's just to speak on our situation, is just both being busy and having to, when it's time to like connect with the kids and connect with each other, it's like shut the work off, and then know that it's okay to like shut work off, because I'm guilty of having a conversation with you and thinking about what tomorrow's going to be like, and making sure I don't forget nothing. So I think for myself and anyone else, it's like plan everything out a little bit of time before it, so that you can completely like focus on the family. And that's what I know I work on, because I definitely have a lot of moving parts, and get to where it's like, it's not fair to them when you can't fully give them your entire self, and if I'm actually talking to you, but subconsciously thinking about what I'm going to load up first thing in the morning, it's not the full attention. And I am so guilty of that, but worked on it a lot. And that would be my recommendation, is just, being able to fully shut it off, what you do or what you have going on. Add that little bit of time to your day, just so you know what you got going on, and you can just clock out.
Jared, do you have anything to add to that?
They both hit it pretty well. My biggest thing, I think it helps with my job, is that I can walk out the door of work and I don't think about work anymore. I don't have to worry about, what I'm going to load up the first thing the next morning. Like I'm done with work and I'm going to go home to my kids. And one thing I need to be better about is just when I walk in the door, just set the phone down and just be away from that, and try to do dinner that's not too involved, so I can just get something done on the table, so I can just go down and play. And we do a pretty good job of dividing up. So like I'll cook and she'll clean, and while I'm cooking, she's playing, and while she's cleaning, I'm playing, and we just kind of divide that up. The other thing that really helped me out was to just getting a better job that had a better work-life balance, and just to be home earlier. Like try to find something that gets you home to when you can be with your family and just spend time with them.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
because Jared had a job that was not family friendly. He was working till like 6 or 7 at night. They go to bed at like 8. You come home, you eat dinner, you send them to bed.
Yeah. You see him for an hour, 30 minutes.
Yeah. And it wasn't working. So,
yeah. I like that, though. It sounds like for you guys, it's balance, just balancing everything out. And yeah. So one thing all three of you have in common is that you have daughters. So that being said, what do you guys think is the age that you're going to feel comfortable with your daughters dating?
Is 34 too old?
And by dating, I want to say like full on dating. Like they're coming over to the house, they're meeting you guys, they're going to the movies, they're going to dinner, that kind of dating. Billy, do you want to you're like heavy breathing over there, but do you want to go first?
Man. Yeah, you don't want to give that up anytime soon. You're like, yeah, they can date once they're graduated and they're living in their own house, but who wants to have that awkward daughter that's never experienced a young love or any kind of relationship in high school? I mean, we all went through it, we all had it, so it's like I think it's appropriate more in high school. I think as they learn to develop and they like, we see Isley and she's got her little boyfriend that she likes and she lights up. She's got such a red face and she's smiling.
Well, if she hears it, she's going to kill you if you say boyfriend, because
I
he's
know.
her friend. That's a boy
But we both
in her
tell,
class.
and I love that. I love that it makes her smile, and I think it gets better as she gets older. But it is tough for dads because that's my little girl, and that's a tough subject to deal with. But at the end of the day, she's gonna like a boy one day, and that's okay,
What would be the criteria that you're looking for in someone that is acceptable to take your daughter out?
Yeah, I think somebody that matches her energy. I mean, she's very, very high energy, highly motivated. At 6, I mean, they'll have to be probably playing sports or something that keeps them busy too, and they did have the same life goals. I think she's really going to be a busybody, and somebody's going to have to match that or keep up with her if they're going to want to compete for the chance. So,
That's good. Yeah, I would love to see somebody motivated for her because I don't think she'll let them be unmotivated, honestly.
Yeah.
So
almost in a way to slow her down, but they're both still moving at the same speed, if that makes any sense, because someone's gonna meet her pace.
right.
So, and I think that's Colin. Just
Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear.
Jared, what do you think?
I'd probably agree with high school age. Like maybe the late middle school. It's just scary. I just know how I
It's
was
just
in
scary.
middle school and high school.
It's just
That's
scary.
where I went. I knew how I was
I
in
know.
middle school, and I would say middle school because it's okay, like 8th grade. And I'm like, man,
That puppy love stuff. Yeah. I
yeah.
don't know.
Like that's okay, but you're not taking her to the movies kind of thing. Is that what you guys are
No,
saying?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's tough.
No.
Adam,
I
you're the closest to it. What do you
There
think?
go. She's going into 7th grade, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a daughter in going into 7th grade. She's got friends who have boyfriends. I think middle school is one of those. It's more of a like they talk about, having boyfriends and girlfriends, and they're not really. It's more of like just like a symbol. They're not
Yeah.
really actually dating as we would,
Yeah.
going to dinner and movies and.
Like he smiled at me in the hallway.
Yeah,
We held
even
hands.
even if they're boyfriend and girlfriend, it's more of they talk a little bit more, and they
sorry, I'm gonna just chime in. I think in middle school it's more like that's when you're like, oh, we're going out, but you're
Oh,
not
yeah.
actually going anywhere,
Yeah.
and they don't actually
Just to
talk
school.
to each other at school. Like they text each other, but then if you were like, hey, let's do something, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
talk to you face to face.
We used to,
So
like,
different from when we were in middle school.
It's so
We didn't
weird.
have phones.
It's
so
so
it was
weird.
like,
But they're
hey,
like,
we
oh, I
passed
can
notes.
text you a novel about how much I love you, but I won't say hi to you in the hallway. Like, middle school's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue, Adam. I was just...
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I think it is, and I think things are a lot different than when I was in middle school too. Again, it was notes and stuff like that. I think, I think we had AOL Instant Messenger was out.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
late middle school, early high school for me. Yeah,
Alex and I are laughing at each other because
we know how young you
were in that.
Yeah, we would sit on the same chair
Yes.
and instant message people.
Sometimes pretend we were other people.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can say that, my goal as a dad of a daughter is to keep her busy enough where she just doesn't have time for boys.
I think
until,
that's great. I think when kids
until-
get bored is
yeah.
when they
That's when they get in trouble.
start. Yes.
Yeah.
You need to buy us more time so we can get the Bad Boys for Life routine going down. You guys have seen
Oh.
that movie.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got plans. I have people who have already signed
Which
up.
one
for
of you
some
is
this.
Will Smith?
I think it's Billy.
I think it is too.
Chitty
Okay.
chitty bang bang.
Okay.
Oh.
I think so.
You gotta think too,
Oh my
like for
gosh.
us,
You
like
got time.
we met the person that we married
Oh.
at 15, 16.
Yeah.
So like
Oh,
you
so
might
that's
be
possi-
meeting
Oh.
the person you're marrying.
Yeah, you guys are
Yeah.
high school sweethearts.
Mhm.
So yeah, that is a good perspective
So you
because
gotta
you
let
don't want
'em
them to like miss
miss
out on
out.
that.
Yeah. You don't know who they're meeting.
Yeah.
Could be the one they're marrying.
Yeah, I did have that thought though too. I didn't
Aw.
know that, by the way. That's awesome. But
That's so
I did
cool.
kind of come up because it's like, not that you want to limit them by no means. You're just coming from a place of like protecting them, but you do want them to experience life. And that
Yes.
is,
Yeah.
maybe not for you guys. There's no heartbreak, maybe at a younger age, but, but they will experience. She will. Someone, just, I think it's all a part of growth, really, and understanding what you want. So.
Well,
I
and
think it's good.
I think that, you change a lot through high school and in college or, after high school and stuff like that. And, I think you need to experience, and from my opinion, you need to experience different relationships to know what you want and what you need.
Mm.
I also want to like, whoever my kids date, I want to like their family too. Cause
Ooh, that's true.
when your kids get married, the families join up usually.
Yeah.
There are the exceptions to that rule, but I want to like the other family that my kids marry into.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Good in-laws
I
probably make a big difference.
I want to like the person they're dating or marrying, and I want to like their family
Mhm.
because I think that families should join up and not just see each other once or twice a year. I like the idea of being able to hang out and be a joined
A
family.
full a joined family, exactly. Okay, I want to talk about traditions that were passed down to you guys that you've now passed to your kids, if you have any. So, Jared, do you have any traditions that like maybe your dad or grandpa or mom, grandma, someone passed down to you that you've noticed you doing with your kids now?
I don't know about from that far back. Alex and I used to, like when we'd lay in bed, we'd talk about like your high point or low point. I think that some comes from her family. Did you guys do that when you were younger? So like when you're laying in bed at the end of the night, when you're cuddling, saying your goodnights, you're like, oh, what was your high point today? And then hear what they had to say. And then what was your low point? And kind of talk about why it was so bad or how it could be better the next day. And
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
sweet. I like that because then it just gives them, well, not only is it like dialogue that you can have with your kids every night and something maybe they look forward to too.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
and I think
That's sweet.
when they get older, it'll give them a chance to, if they have something on their mind, that's the time that they'll be like, oh, I can say something to
Oh,
mom or
yeah.
dad.
Like this is our safe time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I know you have one, Billy, because I hear you do it with the kids all the time. And I don't know if you remember, like if you realize it.
he doesn't
Do
even
you
know.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know. I mean,
What is
I
it?
mean, so when I used to always leave, my grandpa would always say, "Who loves you?" And he'd always
Yeah.
remind
Aw.
you so you knew who loved you. And I always do it to my kids, even though they're like, "Mommy," But most of the time,
They do. It cracks me up.
I'll say, "Who loves you?" And they'll go, "Dad," and
Aw.
they'll
Yeah.
say it out, and it helps them. And I think that helps them remind them, like, I love them.
Yeah. You've done that ever since.
Yeah,
I think
since they
Beck
were-
was 2,
Yeah.
like old enough to like understand what you were even saying. So
Oh,
yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
It is cute.
Yeah, it's something as little as that, I
It
think.
just took a
It's-
turn lately, though. It's always mommy.
Yeah.
Well, can't help that.
It'll be
Sorry.
daddy soon. They flip-flop all the time.
They are little traitors.
Yeah.
Don't get your feelings
Yeah,
hurt.
one
They'll
day
be
it's
back.
me,
Yeah.
if I ground them, then it's you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, she leaves for 2 days, and the whole world stops.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
See, like Olivia's a daddy's girl through and through.
Okay, if she
Colin-
hears this and she hears you call her just Olivia this many times in a row, she is going to leave the family.
Oh.
Okay. OG.
We have to use her
Olivia
her
Grace.
new name.
Yeah.
Stage name.
She's I'd say 95% of the time she is daddy's girl. They're honestly lately it's been shifting a little bit more towards Lexi, but Lexi and Olivia are a lot alike and they like to butt heads with each other. I'm more of I don't know. she's my little girl. So, I don't say a baby her, but, I feel a little bit calmer around her.
We kind of talked about this on
You
the
are
Moms
definitely
episode,
softer with
that
OG.
you kind of like pick like your certain child goes to you. Like I feel like Beck definitely like goes to me more because I think I have like that calm that he needs sometimes. Maybe it's just a boy thing though too. But
Well, Colin drifts more towards Lexi, but there's times where he's just like, no, I want boys time. I want my boys time, and I want dad. And I think as he's getting a little older, it's shifting a little bit more towards me, just because he wants to like have his boys time and dad time and stuff like that.
Video games.
Yeah, I can see
where
that
goes.
Video games and
I don't do that.
sports. Video games and sports. He wants me to go watch him. There's certain times with some of his sports that he's like, I want dad to go. I want dad to take me to this. I want him to watch. I want him to do this.
Unless it's football, then it's me. That's just wrestling he's talking about right now.
Football moms.
I know.
You can't mess with us.
I was like, don't you even take me out of football.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't want you to go. He just, if you ask him, hey, who do you want to take you? Wrestling, it's always dad. Football, it flip-flops back and forth. With Olivia, I'd say as she's getting older, I think she's afraid to tell me things as much, which
I can see that.
I'm pushing
for
back
girls,
on. When she's anxious or upset or something like that, she doesn't want to talk to me as much, and that's frustrating.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah, because you're still seeing her as your little girl, and she's like, no, I'm almost a teenager, or like, I need to talk to mom or my friends. Like, that's the worst part when it's just their friends. And because I know from experience with my sister Tegan, who is only in high school right now, it's like, why don't you talk to me? But she's like talking to her friends all the time. I'm like, oh, you tell them everything, but you won't even tell your own sister. So I'm sure it's similar as a parent too.
Yep.
And my hard thing, and Lexi does this too, they're exactly alike in this thing, is that they're upset. They're visually upset. I know they're upset. I'm like, what's wrong? Just talk to me. You can tell me anything. Don't hold back. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get upset. I just want you to tell me what's going on so you can stop bottling it up and just let it out. And they won't. And they'll just sit there and like,
fester in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And not only fester, but you can see it like causing them like, start to become a physical like issue where, tears and upset and, sick to their stomach and stuff like that, when I'm like, just say it out loud, and maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't, but it's not going to hurt to just say it what you need out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard for sometimes.
And it gets harder the older they are.
Yeah. What has been a hard moment? Speaking of hard moments, what has been a really hard moment for you guys as a dad, and why was it hard for you? So, do you want to go first, Adam?
Oh, throw me back in.
Yes.
Okay. With Colin, this just happened 6 weeks ago. Him breaking his ankle.
Yeah.
That was one of the hardest because.
And I guess we should let everybody know it was a hard break. Like, it wasn't like, oh, a little break, put him in a boot. Like, this was a serious
He
break.
broke both bones at the ankle. His foot was pointing the wrong direction.
Yes.
And, seeing him laying there is hard, but then knowing what they're going to have to go through, that was even harder.
Yeah.
And seeing how his mind was working through that was really hard.
Being in the stands. I mean, I'm getting emotional now just
Yeah.
watching.
I know, Adam's getting teared
Being in
up.
the
Look at him.
stands was hard because I mean, just putting myself in your guys' shoes, and not only like his, but your guys'. I mean, Billy knows I was like freaking out. He kept telling me, just calm down. They're dealing with it. I'm like, I'm trying.
And it's just,
But,
I mean,
yeah.
sports are that kid's life. Like, he lives to play football. He wants to wrestle. Like, so to tell him this happened, a freak thing happened, in a routine flag football game, and now you're down. I mean,
know flag football of
we
all
are
sports.
6
This is what
weeks.
we're doing.
We're 6 weeks in. We have at least 3 more weeks in a boot, and then we have to do physical therapy. Like, it's been it's mentally been very challenging for us because we're used to Colin being the way that he is, and now he's stuck, and you're like, well, you can read books, you can play video games, you can't go on a walk, like, you can't, you can sit outside, like, ugh. So it's been a...
Yeah. And I mean, you were in it, Adam. Like, you saw the whole thing.
Yeah, he's laying on the field holding him.
Held him, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
Because as a dad, what more can you do at that point? You probably felt so helpless and...
I don't know. I kind of just shut everything off when I got down there and was just like, I need to keep him calm. I need to keep him from seeing what was going on. And I knew she was going to be a mess. So it was just kind of shut everything off and kind of go into a survival mode more than anything.
Yeah.
So, that was tough. It still is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he's on the mend.
Yeah.
On a happy note, he's on the mend.
He is. It's just, it's tough and watching that. So.
Yeah, I can see that. Jared, have you had a hard moment?
It's been recently, just with, I think, Layla transitioning and getting used to being an older child and like splitting time between having to share mom, because Alex is still nursing. So like, she's like, I got to go nurse Cadence. I'm going to go in the room, and then Layla wants me to get her ready for bed. And then she's like, no, Mom want to get me dressed. And I'm like, well, she can't. She's feeding Cadence. And she's like, no, I want her to get me dressed. And then it's this whole meltdown. We have to fight for it. And it's just, it's so hard to get her to accept that it's, it's something that daddy has to help with, and mama's busy right now and she'll help you when she can, but it can't be for this 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I did not meet my goal.
I know, I'm looking at you. I'm like, should I tell everybody that?
No, Layla made me cry. It was on Mother's Day. And she said it like once or twice before, but she'll say like, once she said, I wish daddies could feed babies.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you feel like you're missing out so much.
Yeah.
Because you're nursing, but like, I have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's hard for her, like.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand.
Well, because she had you to herself for what, 2, 3, are they 3 years apart?
2.5 years.
Yeah.
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 And
we went through something similar with that.
What was the other thing she said? Oh, she said, sometimes I miss you when you feed Cadence.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm like, oh.
That's heartbreaking. Yeah, that is hard. Bill, do you now that we're all crying, why is it that kids make you emotional? I don't know, but do you have anything to add to one of your hardest moments as a parent?
I would probably relate to a time like when we were balancing back and forth with kids, and me not being able to be there for you fully at times when we were working so much, and that was hard. And coming home and you've had them all day, you've done it all. When they're in the younger age, it's a lot easier now for us as they've gotten older. But that younger age, when they're having difficult days, when they're 3 and dad's not there or mom's gone, and then I used to hear the same thing. I wish mommy was here, or mommy. And so I'm like, well, we got to work this out together, and daddy's here though, and I love you, and I'll help you with anything or whatever. And they would just still have hard times when they might even get emotional, and then she would miss, and especially Isley, she really loves her mom, and she does not like not having her even to this day.
I know.
So
if I had a kangaroo pouch, she would be in it.
She would be in it. So this Monday when you were gone in Tennessee, she was having kind of a little breakdown, and I said, hey, we got to be strong for mommy because she's going to do this, and she'll be back, and we'll be strong for her so that she can get through this, and we can too. And she said, okay. But at that moment, it was hard because she don't understand why you were gone, and she just knew that you had to go and that you were going to come back, and she had to understand that. So it's hard to watch that stuff, but definitely when they were younger too. And I think my main one would just be when I wasn't around as much, when we were working so much, and watching you handle it all and really take care of the kids and do all the work. And then I try to get home early enough to be able to see them before they go to bed, So that was a tough one too.
Yeah.
Okay, last question that I want to ask you all is, how would you like to be remembered by your kids? So who wants to take it away? Jared, you look like you're filling the lungs with air. You ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
Ready.
No, I'm already crying.
Yeah,
So let's
but-
just keep it going.
Just keep it rolling.
Might as well keep this train on. I just want them to remember how much I love them and how much I'll do for them no matter what. I'd lay down my life for them if I had to. I mean, it's easy to say, and I think I could do it. I know I'd do it, but I just want them to know and how much I love her mom and both of their moms, both of
Wait, what?
Okay.
their mom.
The family tree just got
family.
real strange.
Yeah.
We got all these
Sorry.
things happening.
The girls is
The
mom.
girls is
Yeah.
mom.
Got it.
Stop
Whoa.
saying mom.
Moms is in plural.
Moms is in plural. Not possessive. No. Just all the love that's there.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. Adam, what is a way that you want your kids to look back and remember you as their dad when they're kids? I guess I should have added that.
I mean, I want them always to remember that I was there for things and helping them with things, and I was around as they're growing up and stuff. And, I just don't want them to be like, well, dad missed this and dad missed this. Because I do miss a bunch when I travel, but I don't want them to remember me not being there. I want them to remember me there and around and present. So,
Yeah, I think that's good. Bill, what would you like the kids to remember from their childhood of you?
I would say just to always just be in a party. Me and the kids always love to listen to loud music.
Be in the
And
party.
Being
My
more or less
dad
like
was
being
the party.
happy. Like always like constantly wanting to just come home and put a smile on their face. Like there's no need to like show up. It was always like when dad's home where they're ready to go. And that's what I like to, be remembered by. I'd say is just for always just being happy, and even through difficult times or work or struggles, whatever they may go through, if they're going to think about me or remember me for it, just being happy and finding a spot to like just take a break and smile and laugh. Or for instance, like when I referenced party, we like listening to like loud music. I mean, we're like wake up in the morning, listen to music. We cook dinner, we're listening to music. So it's always a disco.
I know. Everyone always tells me, like, you guys should have a TikTok. I'm like, the TikTok would be Billy and the kids and me over in this corner, like, it's 8 a.m. Why? Why?
Making mom breakfast.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then and of course the love, definitely like always being there, always being able to be a listening ear, love them to the fullest, and definitely give them the experience that they need for life.
Yeah. These were all good. I know I said one more question, but that was the last question, but I have one more question. What do you enjoy most about being a father? Do you want to start it off again?
Yeah.
And you can't say being a party because you just said that. So you got to add a new one. What do you enjoy most about being a father?
Oh man, I enjoy the most, and I guess I should start with, I never knew my father, so I always thought that I was just not going to be able to be one. But I think, knowing that we're wired to be fathers from the start, and we have everything we need to be a good father. Golly, she's got me crying.
You're a hell of a father.
So
We'll blame it on Alex.
You can
So I
blame it on
think the
me.
best thing is being able to just be a good
Baby
dad and
hormones.
show up for the simplest things. They don't ask for much. It's such a simple job, and I think sometimes all us dads kind of overcomplicate it. But I think, just giving them simple things in life and showing up for them, and being there for them, and that really got me. I wasn't expecting that. But
Well, you're a hell of a dad, Bill.
it just
They're
blindsided
lucky
me
to
on
have
that,
you.
but yeah, no, definitely. So
Adam, what do you enjoy most about being a dad?
I'd say I enjoy watching my kids succeed. Everything they do. Livy with dance, Colin with football and wrestling and everything. I like seeing them meet their goals, accomplish things, be happy about what they just did, and see all that stuff.
That's really good. I feel that for sure. We do anyway. Jared?
I like being the one that she goes to, and it's like, I broke this. Can you fix it? Or like, I need your help. Will you help me do this? Or can you lift me up to the swing or lift me up to the monkey bar or whatever? And just being the one that's there to help her out when she needs it.
Yeah, like you're the
Yeah.
Superman dad.
Yeah, gotta be.
Yeah.
She
That's
does. Like,
awesome.
she'll break something and she'll be like, Daddy, can you fix this? And he'll go down to the shop and fix it or whatever. And he'll come up and be like, here you go. And she's like, how'd you
This
do
reminds me of
that?
those TikToks that are like, the husband's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm on the phone with my friends. But she's on the phone with her dad. Like, I don't know if he's fixing this right. I don't know if you've seen that. I'm totally botching it, but I don't know if you know what I'm
No,
talking
yeah.
about. That's going to be your daughter.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm on the phone with my dad, just making sure.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Something's wrong, call my dad.
Yeah. That's good. That's good to have that relationship, even as an adult and even when you're married. I mean,
I think
Yeah.
dad want their kids to be able to call them when something's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
yes. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming. Ladies, thank you so much for being here again. This was fun. Yeah, lots of emotions circling this room right now, but hey, we had a really good time doing it, and I hope to continue, maybe a little mini series here with what we got going on. We'll just bounce back to Moms Unfiltered next, and
Moms and mimosas.
yeah,
Moms and mimosas. Yeah, mimosas
yes.
for sure.
Yes. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
As always, I appreciate you all so much for listening. My goal is for these episodes to at least help one person in some aspect of their life. So if you like what you hear, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe to the show, as well as follow us on social media at Inside Voice Pod. Thanks.